having a good time here today?
Fine, we're having a good time. Enjoying ourselves very much. Had a good dinner, too.
As we begin our journey through the 20th century, let's quickly reflect on the 19th century, a time of industrial innovation, social change, and growing global connections. This series will take you through the entire century, exploring each decade and highlighting the pivotal events that shaped the world. Now let's dive into the early 1900s and see how this first decade set the stage for an incredible era of transformation. It all began in 1900 with the Boxer Rebellion in China. Picture this, you're in Beijing, and suddenly the streets are alive with a group known as the Boxers, a group of fighters determined to expel foreign influence and restore Chinese traditions. Their primary goal was to get rid of European powers that were increasingly making their presence felt in China. Imagine a chaotic mix of protest and street party. Only the party crashers were international forces stepping in to quell the uprising. China was trying to hold on to its cultural heritage while battling foreign encroachment, much like trying to keep your vinyl records spinning in a world that's just discovered streaming music. Alfred Nobel swapped dynamite for metals in 1901, turning his legacy from explosions to global acclaim with the Nobel Prizes. And across the globe, the British Empire was in mourning. Queen Victoria, who had been on the throne for a whopping 63 years, passed away. Her death marked the end of the Victorian era, an era so long that by the end of it, people probably thought corsets and top hats were going to be in style forever. The world was ready for a new chapter, with a fresh start in fashion and societal norms. It's like the empire had just hit the refresh button. But the world was ready for something new, and by 1903, the Wright brothers were about to give it wings. Literally, Orville and Wilbur Wright took to the skies in a contraption that looked like it was made from spare parts in a bicycle shop. Their flight at Kitty Hawk was short but groundbreaking, proving that humans could defy gravity, if only for a few seconds. Suddenly, the sky was the limit, or at least until someone invented jet lag. Meanwhile, tensions were rising in the East. In 1904, the Russo-Japanese War kicked off, and Japan emerged as the surprise victor in 1905. Japan's win was like watching an underdog pull off the ultimate upset, sending shockwaves through the world and showing that the balance of power in Asia was shifting. It was a bit like rooting for the underdog in a sports match and seeing them win against all odds, except this match involved real-world consequences and a lot more at stake.
The first thing I remember about the earthquake, somebody shook my bed and I landed on the floor screaming.
Then came 1906, and with it, the earth-shattering San Francisco earthquake. The city was almost entirely leveled, with buildings reduced to rubble and fires raging through the streets. But in true San Francisco spirit, they rebuilt the city faster than you can say earthquake insurance, turning a disaster into a testament to resilience. They even managed to make a comeback that was so impressive, you'd think they had a secret earthquake rebuilding formula. On a more cinematic note, 1906 also saw the release of the first feature-length silent film, The Story of the Kelly Gang, in Australia. It wasn't Hollywood just yet, but this film was a game-changer, proving that movies could be more than just a few minutes long. The world was starting to fall in love with cinema, even if the actors were, well, a bit quieter than we're used to today. Imagine watching a film where the dialogue is all in pantomime, a bit like watching a film with subtitles, but the subtitles are on the screen and the characters are still silent. The world economy decided it needed a bit of excitement too. The panic of 1907 hit, plunging the US into a financial crisis. Banks were collapsing, Wall Street was in chaos, and people were stashing their cash like it was the latest trend. This was the financial equivalent of finding out your piggy bank has a hole in it. But from the ashes of this economic disaster rose the Federal Reserve. So hang tight, because sometimes a little financial panic can lead to some serious change. In 1908, a massive explosion in Siberia, known as the Tunguska event, flattened an area of forest the size of a major city. Scientists are still scratching their heads over what exactly caused it. Some say a meteoroid. Others think it might have been an alien spaceship. Either way, it was an event that left a big impression. It was like a cosmic whoopee cushion that flattened everything in its path, leaving scientists to wonder what exactly had made such a mess. In 1909, while the rest of us were just trying to figure out what to wear to the office, adventurer Robert Peary decided to take a more extreme approach. He claimed he reached the North Pole, which, if true, means he had the ultimate chilly reception. At the top of the world, Perry's journey was a bit like a historical reality show, full of frostbite, freezing temperatures, and a lot of "Are we there yet?"
Why is it taking so long?
He returned with tales of his icy triumph, although some folks still debate whether he actually made it to the pole or just had a really cold picnic. Either way, it was a story that had everyone dreaming of Arctic adventures. In the same year, the RMS Titanic set sail as the ultimate marvel of engineering and a symbol of human ambition. This colossal ship promised an ocean of luxury and adventure, making everyone think it was unsinkable. But hey, who needs to worry about spoilers? We'll let you find out what happens to this grand vessel in the upcoming episodes. Spoiler alert, things might get a bit rocky. Also in 1909, the Tour de France began, proving that bikes could take you on quite an adventure. The race turned into a grueling test of endurance and a source of epic stories, complete with triumphs and the occasional spill. And let's not forget the music. Early jazz and ragtime started to make waves, turning the piano into a one-man band. Imagine a piano so lively it felt like it was hosting a wild jam session, with rhythms and tunes dancing all over the place. Finally, we reach 1910, a year that saw both the end of an era and a peek into the future. King Edward VII passed away, and with his death, the Edwardian era began. But what really had people talking was Halley's Comet making its close approach to Earth. Some thought it was a sign of impending doom. Others just thought it was a spectacular show. Either way, it was a fitting end to a decade full of wonder and change. And there you have it. The first decade of the 20th century, packed with sky-high ambitions and earth-shaking events. From the Wright brothers' first flight to the dawn of cinema, it was a whirlwind of transformation. In our next episode, we'll dive into the 1910s. Get ready for the chaos of World War I, the rise of jazz that made everyone want to snap their fingers, and a decade of change that paved the way for the roaring 1920s. Think of it as the perfect recipe for a historical roller coaster. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Stay tuned. Things are about to get even more interesting.
I've been an engineer for 42 years. And as this is my last run, I must all bid you goodbye. Goodbye, John. Goodbye, John. Goodbye, John. Goodbye. Goodbye, John.